So I thought I'd make a video about Indonesian currency and just some tips about things to watch out for when coming to Indonesia. So the currency used in Indonesia is the rupiah, so RP for short. And just like any other country, there's different types of notes and coins. So there's four main types of coins. They're pretty similar in size. You've got 100 rupiah, 200 rupiah, 500 rupiah, and 1,000 rupiah. And 1,000 rupiah is like 10 cents, 10 Australian cents. You've got 1,000 note, you've got 2,000 note, you've got 5,000 note, 10,000 note, 20,000 note, 50,000 note, and 100,000 note. So 100,000 is like $10 Australian, $10 AUD. Now you got to watch out because the 100,000 note is pretty much the same size as the 10,000 note. Okay, so I've almost done that mistake of accidentally giving someone 100,000 instead of 10,000, and thankfully they actually pointed that out. So be very, very careful. The note's pretty much similar in size, and the 10,000 note sometimes comes in the same color as the 100,000 note, so be very careful. In terms of currency exchange, I would highly recommend, and I did this, you withdraw from your ATM in your home country, take out like a couple of thousand just to get you started or something. And when you get here, I highly recommend BMC, currency exchange. They're all over the place in Bali. BMC, they're really reliable. They've got all the exchange rates there, so they're pretty much legit. And the way it works is this. So $1 Australian. So today, for example, I decided to do some currency exchange. So today it was 10,000. So $1 Australian could buy me 10,300 rupiah. The higher the exchange rate, the better, which means the more rupiah you get. So yesterday it was like 10,200 rupiah. So you get less rupiah for every Australian dollar. So my advice would be to first suss out the streets, drive around. There's a lot of BMCs all over the joint. Drive around, and so let's say you see one that's got 10,200 rupiah. So one AUD is 10,200 rupiah, and another one's got 10,300. Go to the 10,300 one. You'll get more rupiah out of that. Just the cost of things. So here it's relatively cheap compared to Australia, compared to Sydney. So for example, a bottle of water will cost you, let's say, anywhere between 3,000 and 8,000 rupiah, which is 30 to 80 cents really. So you pretty much need to use something like a 10,000 note for that, I guess. Yeah, so really cheap stuff like water you can get for nothing really. Supermarkets, they're all over the place. So places like Indomart, so Indonesian Mart, which is short for Indonesian Mart. Indomart's got everything, all your groceries. Indomart, you've also got things like Mini Mart, they're all over the place. So if you're after things like groceries or snacks, I highly recommend you go to those places. They'd be probably a lot more cheaper too than market stores because they're set prices. So be very careful with notes. I think the biggest take-home message for me is be very careful with the size of notes because you can sometimes get things mixed up. So yeah, the biggest note is basically $10 Australian. And another thing, and I find this a bit weird, and it doesn't really make sense to me, but going to a place like a supermarket, like Indomart, they sometimes get annoyed when I give them a 100,000 note. I don't know why. So it's preferable to have change, okay? Things like 50,000 notes, 20,000 notes, 10,000 notes. So that'd be handy. Just make sure you carry lots and lots of change. These guys, you can use them mainly for, I guess these guys are coming useful for, big shopping centers, etc. Also another thing, just to be very, in terms of tipping. So For things like restaurants, I haven't really gone to restaurants much. It's mainly been fast food, so I don't really know how much to tip. So I could think it's about 10% of your bill. But for taxis, I typically tip them anywhere from 2,000 to up to 10,000. So taxi drivers here don't get paid much in terms of profit. So I tend to tip them, a fair amount. So 5,000 is like 50 cents, right? And they tend to get really happy when you give them 5,000.